Meanwhile, after 24 hours of uncertainty about where exactly the so-called NSA whistleblower has been hiding out, Russian President Vladimir Putin confirmed today that Snowden is currently inside what he described as a transit area of a Moscow airport. Now, the White House was asked Monday what it would expect of Russia if Snowden were to surface there. Here again, Jay Carney.
Given our intensified cooperation with Russia after the Boston Marathon bombings and our history of working with Russia on law enforcement matters, including returning numerous high-level criminals back to Russia at the request of the Russian government, that we do expect the Russian government to look at all the options available to them to expel Mr. Snowden back to the United States.
All right, sorry, Jay. The president's friend, Vladimir, laughed off that suggestion earlier, saying Snowden had not broken any laws and is, quote, a free man. In other words, you could add Russia to the growing list of countries that no longer take the U.S. seriously, and it's all thanks to a failed foreign policy of leading from behind by President Obama. Here with reaction, Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich, Democratic strategist Emily Tisch Sussman. Emily, let's see, leading from behind, we've got Hong Kong, China, now Russia, rubbing our noses in the fact that they're not going to cooperate with us. Well, I thought the president solved all these problems with Russia when he pulled these missiles out of Poland and elsewhere.
Yeah, there's no question that situations like this often become political footballs going back and forth. But I think what is important the president has done is that he has made this a priority and is really coming down very hard on him. He's charging Edward Snowden under the Espionage Act, the 1917 Espionage Act. There have only been 10 indictments in history under those. 2 indictments against Snowden and 7 under the Obama administration. So he is actually coming down very hard on him and has said in a press conference on Monday he will do everything he can under the law to bring him back for prosecution.
To what extent, Katie, do you think this is about? Nobody's afraid of Obama. They're enjoying the vacuum that the world now, that exists in the world, and they're more than willing to fill it because they don't fear this country anymore.
Absolutely, and I think it's laughable to say that this is Obama's priority when he was giving a speech about climate change today, which no one actually cares about. But in terms of the vacuum that's been created with this world power structure, this situation has been an opportunity for countries like Cuba, China, and Russia to work together. And despite what Jay Carney said about our relationship with Russia, we don't have a good relationship with Russia. Vladimir Putin has been very clear that it's Obama's second term. They're going to take advantage of his weakness. And they saw this coming before the election. And Mitt Romney said it. He said, watch out for Russia, and here we are.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people seem to be fixated on this idea. Is Snowden a hero or is he a traitor? Isn't the real error here, though, the fact that a 29-year-old kid working for a defense contractor had access to America's top secrets? Isn't that the big problem here, Emily?
Look, I don't disagree with you. And I think that when we become fixated on having a smaller and smaller government, there are certain functions that still need to be carried out. And then we look to contract them. We look to outside contractors. I actually think that should be something that we look at that's come out of this entire situation.
Yeah. What did you think, Katie, when Putin said no and then Kerry came out and said the U.S. does not want a confrontation with Russia? They already started the confrontation. Stand up for yourself. What did you think?
Yeah, we already have a confrontation with Russia. We've had one for a very long time. If anyone watched the press conference and meeting between President Obama and Vladimir Putin just recently, we know that there's a conflict there. And once again, this situation proves that they saw this coming. They're taking advantage of the situation to show that they're not willing to work and cooperate with the United States. And with many other presidents, including former Democratic presidents like Bill Clinton, I doubt the Russians would even try this. And I bet you that Putin wouldn't say that if one of our spies were in his airport that they were free and that was a neutral area. You can bet that they would be there arresting them. They're keeping Snowden there and giving him this free space because it's embarrassing for the United States. It gives them an opportunity to hold power over our heads, and they're doing that, and they're going to continue to do it.
What did you think, Emily, of the fact that the Obama administration never asked Interpol, the international police agency, they never asked them to issue a so-called red notice for Snowden, which could have stopped him from traveling?
Look, he's hiding out in the airport right now, and so Putin gave himself a little bit of space there, right? He gave himself a little bit of room. But I mean, at the end of the day, what are we gonna, are we gonna send Predator drones over Russia for this. Like, these are situations that come and go, but the president has actually stayed on track. Look, Snowden has created a circus out of this, right? Like, this is like a perfect media story. We don't know where he is. There's a lot of top secret information. He's really created a circus around it. But the president is not letting it become a total distraction. His speech on climate today was a pre-planned speech. It was his biggest speech on this issue.
The Wall Street Journal.
The point is that he's moving forward with very serious priorities of his administration and not letting it become a total distraction.
Katie?
No, the point is that the Obama administration has made this into a chaotic disaster. Ed Snowden came out as the leaker on June 9th. It took 2 weeks for the State Department to pull his passport. That should have been done immediately. There should have been someone in Hong Kong from the CIA questioning him. But instead, he got to go on these Chinese media. He switched from being concerned about American civil liberties to putting countries against each other. And now he's in Russia, and they're going to give him asylum as long as possible. And Vladimir Putin, again, looks like the winner. It's Putin versus Obama right now, and it's not looking good.
Emily, I think you're missing the point. And the Wall Street Journal had a good point today, saying that America is impotent and that the world no longer takes America seriously, our foreign policy. You don't see this as a poke in America's eye?
Well, certainly. I also think that Bob Kraft of the New England Patriots would say the exact same thing. But, you know, even a senior defense fellow at the conservative Brookings Institute did say that this should not be considered a top priority when we talk about our national security and our defense. He did say that, you know, this would not be on par with something like Iran. Like, this is not quite at that level. And so we shouldn't elevate it to that. All right, guys, thank you very much. By the way, Katie, great job on the 5 the other day. Good job.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.